everyone, this is a video a long time in the making. I have wanted to film this for ages and I'm still not sure how it's going to turn out because swatching blushes is tricky. But I'm going to do my best and I'm going to do some swatching and hold some stuff up, and let's hope that you get a really good impression of my favorite, I don't want to call them neutral blushes because I have all my blushes except for one are pretty neutral. These are my favorite almost nude, very light blushes. And I am aware that this category of blushes really only works for this skin tone or lighter. I did find that a lot of my favorite in this category when I had a sunless tan going didn't work quite the same way. But I am gonna try to swatch these on one hand that has just my natural skin tone, and then I'm gonna put my darkest foundation I can find on this hand and swatch so you can see what they look like on different skin tones. So let's hope for the best. So there is a range of drugstore and high-end, some from the same brand. They're kind of all over the place. So I'm just gonna reach into my big box of goodies here and just start whipping them out at random. So the first one is from Hourglass, and this is Ethereal Glow, as you can see in the package. And it is a very soft, almost white pink on the finger and the swatch. And all of these have a similar finish. They're not all matte. Most of them do not have sparkle, but there is a sheen to them. And I just think, especially on fair skin, it just leaves such a beautiful glow to the face. Like, I was always brought up that blush was there to add glow to your face. It wasn't something to draw attention to like eyeshadow or lipstick. It's just one more subtle feature that you put on your face. So this is probably my favorite of all of the Hourglass ambient blushes. And I've had this one a while and there's been no dent made in this one. The next one, since I have it out right here, this is a sample. My mom sent this to me and I recently saw this featured in a video that Lisa Eldridge did, and now I want the whole palette that it comes in. The palette comes with a bronzer and highlighter, but this is Lancome blush and blush, I guess it's called Subtle or Subtil. And this is in the color Mille, oh man, I've been taking French, but I've taken a few months off. Mille Glacé, Glace, I don't know. Again, it's a very soft, nude pink color, basically your skin tone with a blush of pink to it. And it's just, again, a lovely flush. Let's talk about the one that's on my face. This will also be seen in September favorites. I cannot get enough of it. This is the Honeymoon blush from Makeup Geek, and it just leaves the most beautiful glow on my face. I love these blushes. This is the only blush I have from Makeup Geek. If they're all like this, I'm gonna buy a ton of them. I don't love the packaging. I feel like the packaging's pretty cheap, but so is the blush. I think it's only maybe $6, maybe. It's a great price point. You get a lot of product and it wears all day on my face. I adore it. I'm also aware as I'm going through this that they're all pretty much the same color, so no need to tell me, I know. I have a couple, nope, just the one MAC blush in this category. This is definitely a YouTube made me buy it blush. This is Well Dressed. This used to be seen in every Tanya Burr video. It's right here. And so many people wear this blush. Again, it's a little more pink than the other ones, but and a very cool tone pink at that, but it is, you know, again, a very subtle blush. And I don't know what the finish is on this because I cannot read the tiny little print, but I love it. Okay, now, I can't say how many of you have told me to go pick up Tarte Exposed. I have two Tarte Exposed. One that Tarte sent me, one that I bought for myself. I don't love it. There are other blushes I'm going to show you that I like so much more that have a similar quality to them, but a Tarte blush that I do love is this one called Celebrated. It's a slightly softer, peachier, it's not showing up on my finger at all. I'm hoping it's gonna show up in the swatch over there. And it's similar to all the other ones, but there's more, I think, of a peach tone to this. And I will say, these Tarte blushes do not lie. They really do last 12 hours on the cheeks. These pack quite the punch and stay on for a very, very long time. Let's get rid of all the high-end ones and then we'll get to the drugstore ones. I have two from NARS. I couldn't make up my mind. Of the two, this is probably my favorite. This is Dosur which is harder and harder to find. I don't know if they've discontinued this or not. This is more of a brown tone. This is more of that 90s mauvey brown flesh tone, and great for the Kylie Jenner look on your cheeks. Great fall color. I wear this year round. It's a beautiful shade. And then a similar shade, honestly, is NARS Madly. I'll hold them up next to each other. You tell me, is there a difference? Yes. Okay, in camera I can see the difference. Madly is a little more peachy and has a glisten to it. I bought Madly because of Caitlin Confidential. She used this in a tutorial and I had to have it. I think of the two, I probably do reach for Madly more, but Dosur is just one of those colors that you should have in your collection. This one is still available on Amazon. Smashbox, I haven't seen it carry. This is the Smashbox Blush Rush-Bare. This has a beautiful sheen to it. I think you can see it reflecting right there off my finger. I don't know why they stopped making this. I love this. Makeup by Tiffany D introduced me to this range of blushes. When I say she introduced me, she introduced it in a video that I was watching. We have not met nor communicated with each other. She has no idea who I am, but you know what I mean. And I have to say, I share her taste in blushes. We both like that barely there kind of blush look, and she is the master of it. This one, if you can find it on Amazon, if I can find it on Amazon, I'll link it below. I also mention this because you still might be able to pick this up in a CCO, which is a cosmetic company outlet store, and some of the outlet malls, they have a store like that. You still might be able to find it there too. It's a great blush to pick up. And lastly, probably my favorite out of all of these blushes is a Clinique Cheek Pop that came out not too long ago in the color Nude. This is such a beautiful, it's barely there, but it adds just this gleam to the cheeks. This is actually also great all over your eyelids. I love all the cheek pops because they all have sort of a subtle wash of color onto the face. None of them are too overly garish, but this one especially is just gorgeous. And honestly, I think if you're very dark in skin tone, you could probably pull this off as a subtle highlight. It's just beautiful. Highly recommend this one. Now onto my drugstore collection, of which I'm very fond as well. I'm not sure if this one is still available or not, but I'm gonna list it anyway. This is an e.l.f. Baked Blush in Peachy Cheeky. Here's the packaging. It's probably the shiniest of all of mine. Very shiny. You could definitely use this as a highlight if you have, darker mid-tone complexion. And, but again, if you use a very fluffy brush and blend, it's gonna just give that nice sheen to the cheeks. You can also, this is a great one to layer. You can put this one down first and then layer a matte one over it, kind of tone it down a little bit, but still get that sort of lit from within glow. That's how I get my glowy look, is I highlight other colors on top of a highlighted one. So that's e.l.f.'s Peachy Keen. Next, I picked this up in the UK somewhere. I can't remember if it was Scotland or England, but I know that you can, and I'm sure it's still available. I also know you can get it on ASOS. I just checked before I came on. This is Rimmel's Santa Rose. Very similar to, I believe, NARS Madly, if I had to pick one of these. No, it's a little lighter. It looks kind of pinky. It's that pinky peach, barely there. I just broke it, but I will fix that later. I think Rimmel makes a great blush, by the way. I wish they are almost impossible to find in the United States, at least where I live. I wish they were more readily available in the States because they are very inexpensive for what they are, and they are lovely and blend as well on the cheeks as any of the high-end ones. Two left. Can't talk about, I don't know what to call these, neutral, fair shaded blushes for the fairer skin. You can't talk about them without talking about this one. This is Milani Luminoso. This is a favorite of so many people. In particular, I'm thinking of Nikki Tutorials. Beautiful glow, but very subtle. I mean, you could probably use a more densely packed brush to get more of an impact, but again, a fluffier brush. I use usually the Real Techniques. The multi-purpose brush comes in a set. Their blush brush is actually too big, I think, and too fluffy. But the Real Techniques multitask or multi-purpose brush that comes in a set, I'll link it below, is my go-to. Excuse me. And I have 2 of them, and I use them. That's what I use to put these on, and this is beautiful. Definitely a spring and summer color, but you can wear this year round. I don't see why not. And lastly, this is fairly new, I'd say in the last 6 months to my collection, is I've always worn the L'Oreal Visible Lift Rose Gold, but I recently picked up their Nude Lift. And again, this is a great one to layer under. Another one, I use the e.l.f. stippling brush to put this on. It's a cream blush, and it has, look at that glow. Gorgeous. And I just put that right on the cheeks. And it doesn't, on my skin, I do have dry skin, it doesn't streak, it blends nicely, it layers well under powder products. The whole Visible Lift blush line I love. So before I say goodbye, I do want to reiterate that the brush I used to put on all of these blushes except the cream one is the Real Techniques multi-purpose blush brush. It's not blush brush, multi-purpose brush. It's fabulous. I don't have a high-end blush brush, so if you want to recommend one, please let me know. And the way that I put my blush on, you know, obviously foundation, I powder, I do my bronzer first. I do use the blush brush for that from Real Techniques. I use my bronzer, then I put on my highlighter, and the last step is I layer my blush over it, kind of in the middle between and a little on top of my highlighter. I bring my highlighter down onto my cheek and I layer that, and I feel like that gives me, for what I feel, is the best kind of glow from within without being too highlighted, and everything blends together a little bit more. And that's the effect that I really like when I'm wearing my blushes. So let me know, what are your picks in this category, if there's something that I didn't talk about that you think I am missing out on especially. And I will do more blush collection type videos. I've been a little afraid of the swatching, I have to admit, but I'm getting better at it. So let me know what you want to see next, what color category. I'm thinking plummy colors, the fall collection. I have quite a few of those as well. As always, comment below. I love hearing from you. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye. This time we are going to tackle an issue, I guess, that falls into the category of parenting.
Yeah, I'd say parenting and organizational skills.